Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just gonna be giving you an update on some transfer news and gossip regarding Manchester United. Now I was reading reports yesterday, and it did reportedly say that we have held negotiations with Tottenham's Christian Eriksen over the potential January transfer, and reportedly we are prepared to bid up to around £42 million for the player. Now, obviously, Tottenham are aware that obviously Christian Eriksen still wants to leave, but I think Tottenham believe it would be beneficial to cash in for him in January rather than letting go on a free transfer at the end of the season. Now, obviously, we inquired about getting Christian Eriksen during the course of the summer transfer window, but we actually opted out of the race for Christian Eriksen towards the back end of the window, because we did actually believe his preference was to make a move to Real Madrid, and there is still a possibility chance that Christian Eriksen could go to Real Madrid next year. But I think he did confirm at the beginning of the summer that he wanted to leave Tottenham to seek a new challenge. But I do believe he would be the right calibre player for Manchester United. Christian Eriksen is predominantly an attacking midfielder. Obviously, he's well Premier League proven. He has been at Tottenham now for 6 years, so he has been a long-serving player for them. I think now he's into his seventh season with Tottenham. Obviously, he's definitely made over 200 appearances for Tottenham in all competitions. I think he's not far away now from making 300 appearances for Tottenham. And he's got just over 6 months left on his current contract, and Tottenham did pay just over £11 million to him from Ajax back in 2013. So he's another player now on Manchester United's agenda. But we are all aware anyway. That we need a massive rebuild is needed at the football club, and it's very very imperative that next year we do bring the right calibre players to Manchester United. So obviously we can be future title contenders, and obviously get us back to where we do currently want to be. Because obviously at the moment we're not in that commanding position that we should be in. Now we are sitting 14th in the league, obviously because of the results yesterday. We are now 12 points behind top four. I think we're around 4 or 5 points above relegation, and we've only registered so far 13 points from a possible 33, and we know that's nowhere near good enough to our standards. But I did assure, didn't I, at the start of this season, I assured that despite the free signings that were recommended into the squad during the summer, I still knew this season we wouldn't win the league or wouldn't mount many kind of title challenge up, because analysing our squad at the moment it isn't good enough. There's some good players in there, they're just not playing as a unit, and that seems to be the problem. And I did say at the start of this season that our expectations this season will be to finish in that top four. So in that aspect, we can get back into the Champions League and that. And I think our only route now to getting Champions League football is progressing in the Europa League, because obviously now we are into the knockout stages of the Europa League. With 2 games to spare. So I think that's the only route to getting into the Champions League, because I've actually fully disregarded the top four, because I do believe we are too far behind. There's still a possibility chance in that. Obviously Solskjaer's obviously fully disregarded Man United winning their league, but it is a long process. I think our aspirations will be that top four in the next couple of seasons. But like I said, there's still deficiencies in the squad that I do need to be addressed, and I think from my own perception, I think we'll do the vast majority of our transfer business next summer. We'll look to sign at least one player in January. We'll probably try and make 2 signings in January, but we'll do the vast majority of our transfer business next summer. Obviously, Man United need a midfielder. We definitely need a midfielder. We need to recruit a replacement for Ander Herrera. Some people believe we need 2 central midfielders, but we've got to definitely add the depth in that midfield. We also need a striker. Maybe we need 2 strikers. We need someone that can come in that can assure us goals. Someone who can be more effective in the box. Someone who, of course, who can create chances. And we need to recruit a replacement for Romelu Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez, because obviously since their departures, we've looked very exposed in that attacking line. But to be fair, Martial, since his recovery, he's had more inspiration in that attack of third in the pitch. And take into account as well, Rashford has recently rejuvenated himself. But for me, we still need to add experience in that attack of their line. But analysing it anyway, I think, our recruitment has got to improve, because, our recruitment's been very, very poor, not just recently, for several years. So that's something else that's got to improve. The depth in the squad isn't the depth in our squad isn't good enough. But like I mentioned on one of my videos yesterday, due to our inconsistency, for the vast majority of this season so far, I think everyone needs to take the blame in that. I think the vast majority of the blame stems from the board, because the board have been liability for several years, like I mentioned. They've been a liability for several years in that of the board, and like I said, we need to see a variety of changes at the football club. So I think we need to get this board out, and we need to recommend a new board in. And the board didn't back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer enough, during the course of the summer. I also believe we need to get rid of Ed Woodward, because also he's compatible to the board. He's also been a liability for several years. He's not reliable enough to oversee our transfer business. I think a lot of the players have. You could blame a lot of the players this season, because a lot of them this season, well, for the majority of this season, have needed a reality check, reflecting on their bad performances. Don't get me wrong, it's not all the players, because some players have actually performed really, really well. Obviously, the three signs that recommended in during the summer, have done really, really well. So credit to them. And I think Solskjaer is definitely accountable for some of our bad performances and bad results this season. And that some aspects, like I said, do credit Solskjaer. Obviously, during that 4-game period, he did really, really well, because we showed a lot of tactical flexibility. The results were really, really good, and it seemed like momentum was building. There seemed to be more confidence in the players. But we did really, really well in that 4-game period. Got a good draw against Liverpool, only the team so far this season to take many points off them. We got a good win against Norwich away from home. Analyse it, I think that's the best performance in the Premier League this season. We also got a good away win at Chelsea in the Carabao Cup, winning 2-1. And obviously I know we lost our last league game to Bournemouth, and that was an abysmal performance, but it was a good reaction from the players reacted well, from that 1-0 defeat to Bournemouth in the Partizan Belgrade game on Thursday. Because I thought, that was a really, really good game, and we played really, really well. We created a lot of chances. We showed a lot of tenacity in that. So we did really, really well, and we have been struggling to create chances. For in the vast majority of our games this season, and this is why I did say some aspects of our game still need to improve. We need to score more goals. We need to create more chances. The brand of football also does need to improve. Certain players still, I believe, they've got to step up to the plate. But, that's the best performance I've seen at Old Trafford, for a very, very long time. What I did see on Thursday, especially in the first 45 minutes. But, we haven't created a lot of chances in, a lot of games this season. This probably explains why, why we haven't been scoring enough goals. And in that aspect, it replicates last season, because last season, we didn't really score enough goals. But so still some elements of our game that I definitely do need to improve. But I've criticised Solskjaer for the vast majority of this season, just like a lot of Manchester United fans have. Obviously he's been tactically naive. Some of his substitutions have been questionable. Obviously for the vast majority of this season, Solskjaer has been going with that 4-2-3-1 formation. We do know mainly that 4-2-3-1 formation hasn't been working. I got to say, from my perception, we seem to look better with 3 at the back. So we look better with a 3-5-2 formation or the 3-4-1-2 formation. But more than likely today, he will stick with a 4-2-3-1 formation against Brighton. It's not far away now, is it, from kick-off against Brighton. But yeah, it's a game Manchester United do need to win today. It's confirmed that Lindelof... Lindelof and Scott McTominay as part of the squad. It's unknown, whether they're going to play him or not, because obviously, Scott McTominay, he sustained an injury in the 3-0 win against Belgrade on Thursday. Lindelof obviously, sustained a knock in the 2-1 win against Chelsea. But Solskjaer said he's hopeful, that they, can play. He says they could recover in time. They've only had minor problems, so the injuries haven't been severe. But reflect on the amount of injuries we've had this season anyway. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has had to make alterations in the squad. Obviously, he has tried different elements. Which is obviously very, very good. But we can definitely assure that Tuan Zebe, Luke Shaw, Nemanja Matic, Diego Dalot, Angel Gomez, Paul Pogba, they all will not be involved. So I think Solskjaer did confirm that more players are expected to more players are expected to regain full fitness after the international break and that, which is obviously very, very good. We know Pogba's out until December. Luke Shaw's not far away now from recovering from injury. Nemanja Matic has had a minor problem. Tuan Zebe has obviously been out with a hip injury. Diego Dalot, I think it's actually unknown when he will be back in contention. Don't forget Ashley Young is suspended, so Young obviously can't play in this game today. My match reaction for the game, by the way, will be coming up. Probably straight after the game. My match reaction will be coming up, but hopefully Manchester United can't get the win. We did beat Brighton by 2 goals to 1 last season at Old Trafford. But this is a game, we've definitely got to win. And anyway, our home form does need to improve. And Solskjaer, has actually, challenged Man United, to replicate the attacking form that we showed on Thursday night on a regular basis. So obviously, we can turn a corner, and obviously, it can improve our, form and that. I interpreted some of the stuff Solskjaer mentioned, during his press conference. Building up to the game today against Brighton, and obviously he praised Mason Greenwood throughout the press conference, and he said he's still he's learning the men's game. This is what he basically said. So basically, what he's saying is he's still a prospect, and obviously he needs more time to develop because Greenwood is only 18 years of age. Obviously, it's only his it's only his first season basically in the senior squad, isn't it? Because obviously he was playing for the under-18s last season and that, and the under-9s and the under-21s was Greenwood. I think he scored like 30 goals in 29 games. But in the games he has played in this season so far, he has replicated what he did last season. Greenwood made his full debut for the football club at the end of last season in the 2-0 home defeat to Cardiff. But there is question marks around Solskjaer. Why is he not playing him regularly? And I can't understand why he's not yet started a game from the start in the Premier League. But I do believe at some point, he will do. Obviously, Mason Greenwood's an option on the right hand side. But Solskjaer recently as well compared Mason Greenwood to Robin van Persie. What he's saying is basically, Mason Greenwood's finishing is similar, to Robin van Persie, so he did compare them, and Solskjaer does believe that Mason Greenwood will enjoy a good career with a football club, but I did say he's one of the young upcoming players that will become a success at Manchester United. Obviously, he confirmed during the press conference as well that obviously he had rested Daniel James for the game against Partizan Belgrade, which obviously he did. Because obviously, Daniel James has been a consistent starter this season and that, and Solskjaer believes that obviously he's overplayed him. Daniel James so far this season has played around 895 minutes of Premier League football, so that's just under 900 minutes. He has played 18 matches this season for club and country, but he obviously he's played around 15 times for Man United. But Daniel James has done really, really well. So like I said, anyway, he has deserved to keep his place in the team. There's still some aspects of his game that do need to improve, like maybe his finishing needs to improve, maybe his crossing that needs to improve. But I still classify him as a prospect and he needs time to develop, because Daniel James is only 21 years of age. We did pay around £18 million to him, so obviously he was a cheaper solution. But I'm actually surprised of how quick he's settled into the football club, and I'm surprised of how much he's played for Man United, because I thought when we signed him, and I knew he would play, but I didn't think he'd play the amount of games to the extent as he has done. So that's actually surprising. But he's done really, really well. Solskjaer's aware anyway that, the league form does need to improve, because we've only won 3 league games so far this season. We've only won 3 league games so far this season. We've actually won more games in the cup here, than we have in the league. For me, the league is a priority. Some people now do believe the league is not maybe a priority. Maybe the Europa League is a priority. So hopefully we can progress in that and get into the Champions League. The good news is as well, we are into the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. Obviously, we are in quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. We've got Brighton in the not Brighton, Colchester in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. So we are doing really, really well in that. Like I said, we've got a lot of young players in the squad that are developing and trying to improve at Manchester United and that. We've got a lot of young players in the squad. I did say, some of them, will become a success. I've got some element of concerns about certain ones, so this is why I did, say that, maybe we need to consider, getting rid, of a few next year, or maybe, loaning some of them out, because, it will be beneficial and that for their careers. But I can assure that Greenwood, Brandon Williams and Tuanzebe, that, they'll all become successes at the football club. Maybe even James Garner. James Garner in the games he's played in this season, he's done really, really well. Obviously did well on his full debut for the football club in the 1-0 win against Partizan Belgrade. But yeah, and I think, Brandon Williams should start the game today against Brighton, because Brandon Williams, is a really, really, good player in that. And a lot of people now do believe that he's a better solution than Luke Shaw, even though Luke Shaw is our first choice left back. But obviously he's been out injured, since the 2-1 home defeat to Crystal Palace. But Brandon Williams, you probably could say he's a better solution. He's only 19 years of age. It was good as well that he recently signed a new contract. But I thought he was the man of the match in the last league game. He came on with 10 minutes to go in the 1-0 defeat to Bournemouth, and I thought, he did really, really well. Like I said with McTominay, I've also been impressed with him this season. He's been a first team regular this season. He has deserved to keep his place in the team. Whether he can keep this consistency up or not, I do not know, and I don't know if he's the long term solution for Man United. But so far, so good, for McTominay. So definitely keep him in the team. I've got the same perception on Fred of what I've got of McTominay in that. Obviously, I agree on one aspect that, we did overpay for Fred, because we paid just under £50 million to him last summer from Shakhtar Donetsk. Maybe he isn't the long-term solution in that, and, and that. And maybe, some Man United fans have got element of concerns about him, and, and I know he hasn't settled in as yet. He hasn't performed to the standards as we should expect. He hasn't replicated, what he did at Shakhtar Donetsk really. But recently, I credit him because I think he's done really, really well. And I think him and McTominay have blended in our midfield fantastically well. But Solskjaer did confirm anyway that Fred, will take Paul Popper's position for a while. Andres Pereira, I thought, he enjoyed a really bad game in the 1-0 defeat to Bournemouth. He was really, really bad. He's operated in that playmaker's role this season. I think he's played around 8 or 9 games so far this season for Man United. So he actually has played quite regularly this season as Andres Pereira. So these, even though we've enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 years, I still, believe these certain players, that have performed really, really well. You're getting some Man United fans saying, we should actually play Juan Mata. We should play Juan Mata, more regular in the Premier League. Obviously he did play in that number 10 in the 3-0 win against Partizan Belgrade, and I thought I enjoyed a pretty decent game. He played in that number 10 role. A lot of Man United fans believe that he doesn't suit that number 10 role. If we are to play him more often, maybe we should orchestrate on putting him on that right hand side, Juan Mata, because maybe, that is his preferred position. Can't argue with it though. He's had a good career with Manchester United. He's now into his 6th season with the football club, so he's enjoyed 5 good years You know, he's made over 200 appearances for Man United in all competitions. I think he's scored, is it nearly around 50 goals for the football club as well, Matt? It's something like that anywhere. But, you know, obviously back when he was young, obviously he was he was a first team regular in that, but obviously he's not anymore. He's lost his place in the team because obviously he's 31 now, he's getting older. He has lost that yard of pace. But he is actually, still a very, very imperative player, believe it or not. But yeah, and I did say to you, didn't I? I think also, another five more players at least, do need to leave Manchester United. So I think we need to get rid of more players, despite the fact that a lot of players have left since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival. So I'd said, the problematic players who we need to get rid of. Ashley Young, he's a problematic player. We need to get rid of him. You could arguably say he's coming to an end of his footballing career anyway. Young is now, 34. He's 35 years of age next year. So you can quite frankly say he's past his sell-by day. He's been playing on a regular basis this season. That's obviously, something I don't really understand. So maybe it's due to the amount of injuries we've had where Solskjaer's had no other alternative but to go with Ashley Young. I don't know, but either way, Young's been a long-serving player at Man United. He's now into his ninth season as ninth season as Man United player, but he has been here 8 years. And another mistake from the football club last season, obviously, was giving him that giving him that new 1 year extension. I think Jones is one of the problematic players, and I think we need to consider getting rid of him next year. Phil Jones. He's been here more or less the same amount of time as Ashley Young's been here. Jones is now into his ninth season as Man United player, but he has been here 8 years. Obviously Jones maybe he'll get his chance in like the the Europa League and the Cup in the the Carabao Cup and that. But obviously he's not. His appearances will be limited in the Premier League because he isn't really going to get many chances in that. Because obviously Solskjaer's first choice centre backs are Lindelof and Harry Maguire. Now with Rojo, maybe some Manchester United fans maybe do believe that he needs to be moved on next year, does Marcus Rojo, at some point in his future. Now Solskjaer's obviously an admirer of the player. Solskjaer recently revealed why he's preventing Rojo from leaving in January, because I did say the club actually could consider moving him on in January and that, because I thought he was actually close to leaving Manchester United during the course of the summer. But he didn't. There was a few teams in for him. Also, Everton inquired about getting him. Everton could reignite their interest next year in the player. We put around the £25 million valuation on Rojo, but Man United and Everton, couldn't come to an agreement on a fee, basically. So this is why, obviously, the move never materialised. We have seen glimpses, of how good Marcus Rojo can be, though, to be fair. He is predominantly a centre-back, but he can also, operate as a full-back and that, and a wing-back. So, he can... He can play in various positions in that back line, can Rojo, and he's 29 years of age, got around 2 years, or is it just under 2 years left on his contract. So in my opinion, maybe we still need to consider getting rid of him. Definitely, Matic is one of the problematic players at the football club. And I even though, we haven't reinvested in that midfield, I say now that any of our options, any of our midfielders are better, solutions than Nemanja Matic. Nemanja Matic, anyway, has initially lost his place in the team, reflecting, on his bad performances, due to his inconsistency, basically. He's lost his place in the team as Matic. He's now, 31 years of age, is Matic. Oh, is he 30? 31, 30 or 31. He isn't getting any younger, and he's too slow, and he makes that midfield look totally imbalanced. So Manchester United definitely need to consider, getting rid of him. Next year. Don't forget, he comes to an end of his contract at the end of the season, so we could lose him on a free, but we do have an option, to extend it by a further year. But I do agree, definitely, that we overpaid for Matic. We paid around £48 million from Chelsea. Some people believe maybe we should get rid of Jesse Lingard. Because obviously, he's been very, very poor this season, especially as Jesse Lingard. And I said, reflecting on his status at the football club, he should be putting much more better performances out. So yeah, maybe another 5 or 6 more players do need to depart the football club, definitely. But like I said, my perceptions on Solskjaer, haven't changed. I still believe he's not the right manager, to elevate Manchester United forward. He isn't the long-term future. I do definitely believe that, the club, will stick with Solskjaer probably for this season at least, and especially for this present time. Because obviously, if we were to get rid of him before Christmas, obviously you can say it wouldn't solve a lot of problems at the football club. But one thing I can definitely assure that, Solskjaer, will not, see out his 3-year contract with the football club. Because obviously, when he did get the job permanently, he had signed a 3-year contract. And like I did pinpoint out, well, Manchester United have made several mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years. One of those mistakes, obviously, recently was giving Solskjaer the job. We shouldn't have given Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job, basically, because, we give him it too early. We should have waited until the end of last season, or we should have waited at some point until this season to decide or not whether to give him the job. And in a way, I do feel sorry for Solskjaer, because I think the club have put him in a very very difficult position and that. But Ed Woodward, recently insisted still 100% backing him. Ed Woodward has obviously assured that his job is safe. Despite our disastrous start to the season, and obviously Solskjaer's got the same overarching view as Ed Woodward. He insists he's the right manager for Manchester United, and he still believes Man United are heading in the right direction. This is what he does believe in that. And but yeah, the vast majority of Man United fans now are demanding him out of the football club. You still get certain Man United fans that are backing him, and some are still saying maybe we should still give him at least a couple more windows, to see who else he can recommending to the football club. Like I've already given you the update on the transfer news anyway. On my other videos and that. I think Solskjaer, has got around 5, 6 players on his agenda who would like to recommend in to the football club next year. But I think that's the number of players we do need, if we are to be back to being a competitive elite level football club, without a shadow of a doubt. But you can still say anyway that Solskjaer's still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team, because analysing the majority of this Man United team anyway, it isn't Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. The vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's, because Jose Mourinho recommended 11 players into the football club. Now Solskjaer is still inheriting the vast majority of them. Obviously there's still players here from the Van Gaal era. Obviously there's Mattery from the David Moyes era. There's still a couple of players here from the Alex Ferguson era. And I do want us to be back to how it was under Ferguson. I want to see that fear factor back to the football club. I want to see that winning mentality, and obviously none that's been there since the Ferguson era. And I want this team now, this day and age, and that to replicate what the team did under Ferguson. And I want Solskjaer to invoke Ferguson's legacy at Man United, but I know obviously that's not going to happen. That's obviously not going to happen, and that Solskjaer is compatible to Alex Ferguson, in that aspect of obviously, developing, young players in that and recruiting young players, because Solskjaer, I still think, wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British players in that. And Solskjaer, and Ferguson obviously, developed a lot of young players in that. But yeah, Solskjaer has definitely been assured that he will be giving money to spend in January. So definitely, like I said, the recruitment has got to improve. I think we need to see a director of football at the football club as well, a new director of football. Because, I think that's one of the structural changes that we do need at the football club, because, during the course of the summer, was in for a director of football, but obviously, we didn't get one. Obviously, there was quite a few former Man United players linked to the role. There was Ferdinand linked to it, Evra, Dan and Fletcher and that. And I did say it would be, beneficial to recommend someone who knows the traditions of the club, someone who would be reliable to obviously our transfer business, and someone who's obviously got the right philosophy for the club. So in that aspect, they can bring the right calibre players in, to Manchester United. There was speculation about Edwin van der Sar the other week. I think, he would be the right candidate. Obviously, there was recent talks about him there was recent talks about him, wasn't there? Ralph Ragnick, who was head of sport and development at Red Bull. There was talks about him. It said we travel to Germany, to meet up with Ralph Ragnick and that, and Ed Woodward had scheduled the meeting because obviously Ed Woodward is still keen on recommending a new director of football to the football club. But yeah, there has been a lot of former United players linked with that current role, and Solskjaer, during the international break, actually, defended the club's current structure, but so what it means is he insists, Man United don't need a new director of football. There was also talks about him possibly, replacing Solskjaer at the football club, but either way, I don't see Ralph Ragnick, coming into the football club anywhere. Either way, we do know, obviously, there's been a list of managers on our agenda, who could replace Solskjaer at the football club. I think there's been around 2 or 3 managers on our agenda. Obviously, we still know that there's intense speculation ongoing about Massimiliano Allegri. Obviously, he's a former Juventus manager. Obviously, he's been into Arsenal because obviously Unai Emery's under so much pressure now at Arsenal. Arsenal lost 2-0 yesterday to Leicester. Obviously, he's been linked with the vacant managerial role at Bayern Munich because Bayern Munich revealed early on this week that they had sacked Niko Kovac, reflect on their 5-1 drumming to Frankfurt. And he's linked with the Manchester United job. I don't think he's our primary candidate anymore, like he was during the international break. Max Allegri obviously has been learning English recently in case he does make a move to the Premier League. But do you think he would be the right candidate for Man United, Max Allegri? Obviously, he's not. So far, he spent the entirety of his managerial career in Italy, in the Serie A. Obviously, he started managing small various Italian clubs. Then, obviously, emulated himself up. Sat down as Juventus manager at the end of last season. Well, resigned, obviously. Had a 5-year tenure with Juventus. Obviously, won the vast majority of silverware there. Won to progressed Juventus to 2 Champions League finals, and I think he's around 50-odd year old. But these still talks about him possibly coming to Man United. Said during the international break that Max Allegri, was in discussions with the football club, regarding what salary he would earn if he was to take the mantle on at the club. He also reportedly wanted to introduce Everin as one of his coaching staff. And if Max Allegri was to come in, he would be our 5th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. But it's I'm very, very sceptical about the whole thing, basically, because I think we're going to keep Solskjaer at least for this season anyway, regardless of the outcome. And I think the board actually did assure this at the start of the season, because I think the board realised anyway that they didn't back him enough during the course of the summer. But obviously Pochettino, I still say he's on our agenda, because actually after the sacking of Jose Mourinho, there was a few managers on our agenda, and obviously at that point Pochettino was our main priority. Well, it was our top priority, wasn't it? But obviously, our preference was Solskjaer over Pochettino on that, because obviously, Solskjaer was a cheaper solution. And obviously, we just saw it as that, Solskjaer, was, he knows the traditions and that of the club, and he was a cheap solution, like I've just said. This is probably the couple of reasons why, we wanted to recommend Solskjaer, But yeah, we'll definitely stay with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for now and that. But it wouldn't solve a lot of problems if we were to get rid of him now anywhere. If we were to get rid of him now anyway, it wouldn't solve a lot of problems. It wouldn't solve a lot of their problems, but I've got some element of concerns about him. Obviously, Solskjaer hasn't really got that managerial experience, not really to the highest level and that, and that's my element of concern. Don't get me wrong, he has got that proven pedigree as a player, because he was a great long-serving player for Manchester United for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance. In total as a player, he made 366 appearances for the football club in all competitions and scored 126 goals. and he did really, really well in that. And but just me, he just isn't good enough, to be a manager. He just doesn't have any intuition on how to manage a big club, especially like Man United, despite the fact he knows the culture and that of the football club. But Solskjaer, he hasn't really been here that long. He's overall only been here for around 11 months. So he's only been here just under a year and that. Obviously, he's lasted longer than David Moyes overall. David Moyes only lasted around 7 months, 7 months, I think, Man United. Oh no, it was. Hold on, no, it was 10 months. I think David Moyes had at the football club. Sorry, 10 months he had at the football club. So Solskjaer's actually lasted longer now. But Moyes is actually the manager that's had the shortest tenure of the football club anyway since the Ferguson era and that. And yeah. But yeah, he's only been here just under a year and that, and obviously he's been permanent manager now for around 8 months or so. And obviously for the vast majority of that 8 month period, obviously everything's gone wrong, and it's obviously totally comparison to what I saw in that 3 month period when Solskjaer was the interim manager, because it all went well when he was the interim manager. As you all know, the results were good, the performances were good, he exceeded expectations, and obviously my perceptions were different regarding Solskjaer then. I thought at that point he was the right man for Man United, because he won his first 8 or 9 games. He won 14 out of 19 in total. One of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's most iconic moments as a manager, obviously, that 3-1 win against PSG last season. When we overcome a 2-goal deficit from the first leg. That was absolutely fantastic. Then I thought at that point, Manchester United were back. But obviously, I was obviously proven wrong. I was proven wrong, but I still think Man United are backing him anywhere. But some Man United fans fear that Man United he could replicate what he did do with Cardiff, because he only had a really short tenure with Cardiff and that, and he began his managerial career with Cardiff. And he ended up getting Cardiff relegated. This is why he got sacked, but he only managed around 29 or 30 games for them, so he only had a really, really short tenure. But Man United won't get relegated. Like I said, the club's too big. There's too much money in that into the football club. So you definitely know what happened. I think the last time we was relegated was back in 1974, which is obviously now over 40 odd years ago now. But like I said to you, we haven't got the structure to keep sacking managers anyway. Solskjaer's our fourth permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. We're not really known for a sacking club, despite the fact that 3 managers have already gone since Ferguson era. Obviously, Moyes gone. The mistake Ferguson made, and the only mistake he made, was obviously recommending David Moyes in at the time after his retirement. Obviously, Van Gaal left after just over a year, even though he won the FA Cup. And obviously Mourinho got sacked after he enjoyed a 2.5 year tenure at the football club. Mourinho actually has had the longest tenure at Manchester United since the Ferguson era. But Mourinho did win the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season with the football club. But I already give you the variety of reasons why it didn't work out under Mourinho and that. Mourinho's obviously regarded as one of the best managers in the world. He's up there and that with the likes of Pep Guardiola, and all the rest of them that are in obviously that category. Because he's won 25 major honours as a manager as Mourinho. His pedigree's absolutely fantastic, but I'd probably say Man United at the time recommended him in too late, Mourinho. But the reason it didn't work out under him, like I said, is because he had bad disputes with the board, he had bad disputes with the top players. Obviously, the board weren't backing the signs that I wanted to recommend into the football club last summer. His philosophy just didn't seem to be right for the club. There was no sort of transfer strategy. So they're the variety of reasons, why it didn't work out under him. But it's actually no worse under the Solskjaer era than what it was under Mourinho, Van Gaal, and it's even worse than it was under the David Moyes era. But these still time where to turn things around, because we are only 11 games into the season. This is our 12th game today against Brighton, so there's still a lot of twists and turns to come. So take that into account. So you can also take that into account and that and. We haven't won the league since 2013. That's almost 7 years ago now. Last time we won it, obviously, was in Alex Ferguson last season. But I don't think, it'll take us another 30 years to win another Premier League title. Obviously, like it has done with Liverpool. That's also going to be a very, very big game today, isn't it, as well? Liverpool, Man City at Anfield. I think Wolves Villas today, and obviously we play today as well. So not far away from kickoff. I think the team has now been confirmed, so I am going to have a look at it. So I just wanted to give you an update on the news regarding Christian Eriksen, one of the players on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's agenda. Obviously, you all know the other players on his agenda because I've updated you about them on my recent videos, so I don't need to keep going through them all again. So anyway, guys, we'll be back with match reaction after the Man United Brighton game. Drop your comments, likes, below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching, guys.